Hello, Algebra 1. This is our second day of review for our test, and let's go ahead and get started. So for this first section, we're actually just going to do number 1 and number 2. Number 1, we have some subtraction. Remember, this is not FOIL. You are just distributing your negative. So we'll go ahead, we'll bring down these guys right here. And negative 1 times 4x squared is negative 4x squared. And negative 1 times negative 3x is a positive 3x, and negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And then we'll just go ahead and combine our like terms. You have a 1x squared minus a 4x squared, which is a negative 3x squared. And you have a negative 10x plus 3x, which is a negative 7x. And you have a 13 minus 2, which is a positive 11. And there you go. Number 2, now this shows multiplication. This will be FOIL. We're going to go ahead and write this guy twice. And then we're just going to FOIL this out like normal. First, 2x times 2x is 4x squared. Outer, 2x times negative 10 is negative 20x. Inner, negative 10 times 2x is negative 20x. Last, negative 10 times negative 10 is positive 100. And then we can go ahead, combine those like terms in the middle. Negative 20x minus 20x, those don't cancel because they're the same sign. They are going to go ahead and become negative 40x. Make sure your 100 is a positive because it was a negative 10 times a negative 10. All right. All right, let's jump down here to number 5. We are factoring completely. Notice that you just have a 1 in front of your x squared. That means we can go straight to our box problem. We are multiplying to 16 and we are adding to negative 10. And since I'm multiplying to a positive and adding to a negative, I know I have both minuses here. And those numbers are going to be 8 and 2. But again, both negatives. We are not solving this because there isn't an equal 0, so this is it. I'm done. Okay. Number 6, we do have a 6 in front. This 6 will divide evenly with each of those numbers, so I do have to pull out that GCF first. Remember, it's just like reverse distributive property. 6 times x squared is 6x squared. 6 times 5x is 30x. And with that 216, that bigger number, I'll just go ahead and divide it. And that gives me 36, so this is a minus 36. Now remember, you're not done. You still have to do this box problem right here. So we're multiplying to negative 36 and we're adding to 5. And those numbers are going to be a 9 and a 4. But one of them needs to be negative. It's going to be the 4 because we're adding to a positive 5. All right, and that's your answer. All right, number 7. Number 7 is back again to having a 1 in front. So this means there's no GCF to pull out. We're going straight to our box problem. Multiplies to 144 and adds to negative 24. And just like in number 5, both of these are going to have to be negatives because they are adding to a negative but multiplying to a positive. And these are going to be negative 12s. However, if you'd like, you can write it like this since they are the exact same thing twice. All right, and number 9. Number 9 has a number in front, and 5 goes into both 5 and 80, so this is our GCF. We're going to take that out. 5 times x squared is 5x squared, and 5 times 16 is 80. Remember, this is like an invisible, I should say, 0x right there. This is like saying we're multiplying to negative 16 and adding to 0. Remember, the only numbers that add to 0 are opposites, so this is going to need to be a 4 and a negative 4. And there's your answer. All right, so now we're going to factor if necessary and solve. So here's where we have these equal zeros. In number 10, you're going to see it's already factored for you, so we are ready to go ahead and set everything that has an x equal to 0. And this one's already solved, so there you go. This one, add your 2 over. This one, subtract your 4 over, and this guy has 3 solutions. Now in number 11, you don't have an equals 0, you have an equals 5x, so we are going to have to move that 5x over. Because it has the x, it's going to go in the middle. Okay, so now that this is in standard form, we can determine whether we have a GCF or not. It's just a 1 in front, so I'm going to go straight to my box problem. And I am multiplying to -24 and adding to -5. Since I'm multiplying to a negative, I have a positive negative. And these numbers are going to be 8 and 3. But in order for the 5 to be the negative one, the 8, which is the bigger number, has to be the negative. Okay, but we're not done yet because we still need to solve because of that equals 0. So now we set both of these guys equal to 0. And we're going to subtract our 3 over and add our 8 over. And there are your 2 solutions. All right, 2 more. Number 12, again, you don't have an equals 0, so we are going to have to add that 42 over first. Because it's just our regular number, it will go at the end. Okay, and we do have a number in front, this 3, that's our GCF, so we're going to divide that out of everything. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times 9x is 27x. And 3 times 14 is 42. You're not done, you still got to do your box problem. We are multiplying to 14 and adding to 9. And the numbers that do that are a 7 and a 2, and they're both going to be positives. And now I can go ahead and solve it. I'm going to set each part equal to 0, but I'm not setting the 3 equal to 0 because it doesn't have an x. Okay, subtract my 7 over, and I'll get -7. Subtract my 2 over, and you'll get -2. All right, in our last one, we're just going to change it. Go ahead and pull or get rid of that second x. We're just going to leave it like this. You do have a number in front, that 8, so we're going to divide that out. 8 times x squared is 8x squared, and 8 times 100 is 800. And remember, this is like our special case where you have that 0x in the middle. So we are multiplying to -100 and adding to 0. And these numbers have to be opposites. It's going to be 10 and -10 that multiply to -100. So plus 10 and minus 10. Don't lose that equals 0. And again, anything with an x we set equal to 0. So we're going to ignore that 8. But we are going to go ahead and say this guy equals 0. And this guy equals 0. And we'll subtract. Get x equals -10 for our first solution. And we'll add and get x equals +10 for our second solution. And there you go. I hope you have a great day. Bye.